They're yours. Hit that one more time. I am the number one determinant of the success or failure. Here we go. Of my student. Hey, y'all, you have a strong summer. Kick some butt next year. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate you. That's the mindset. That's the attitude. Love you guys.
And we are live. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Let me see who we got in here this morning. We got Janine Wilkins all the way from Alaska in the building. I said last week she got that administrative position, so we bigged her up last week. We got Demetrius Scott in the building. Yolanda McKinney is in the building. Good morning to you all. Tony McClenny, James Wilburn is in the building. Donna Scherer Gantz in the building. Hey, Donna, I always know when you're not here, because when you're not here, I don't have all them zillions of shares, right, on them Facebook groups. So I'm glad you're here. Hit that share button for me, Donna. And the rest of y'all, hit that share button. Hit that retweet. We got Daniel Boone Deuce in the building. Michael Benton, Superintendent Peter Finch, Kerry Eugenia Dahiru, Ndaye is in the building. What we got here? We got Lysandra Brackens, LaShonda C. West. Where we at? This thing is jumping, y'all. We got Darren Green, my man, Darren Freedom Green out of Trenton, New Jersey. Jersey's in the building. Good to see you, Darren, this morning. Erica Queen, Principal Otis Kitchen, Maggie Banker, Marsha Poe, Rodney Richardson, Nyerka Coy Bush is in the building. Grace Castaneda, my man, Lou Saunders, another East New Jersey homie, work with me in East Orange. Andrea Blake is in the building. She's down there in Eastern Shore. Rodney Williams, Darnell McElveen, Daniel Boone. I said that one. Nina Lanza Lawson, my wife, the Queen, Kimberly Broughton Kafele is in the building. Gina Sanchez Roletto is in the building. Takesha High is in the building. My man, Rashard Davis, bringing the flames from Las Vegas, Nevada. We got Bev Hill in the building. Lee Henderson, Lisa Kimball, they're all in the building. Alan Cowart is in the building. Let me see. This thing is moving, y'all. It's moving. Hit the share button. Hit the retweet button. Let them know we are here in week 109. I haven't missed a week yet. We've been consecutive. I'm all booked up until next December and beyond, but certainly till December. I got everybody nailed down, man. We got some, man, please. Y'all better stay tuned. We got my man Josh Tovar in the building going as MPA Jaguars. Central Hicks is in the building. Yolanda Nesbitt, Alina, oh man, Anberg is going so fast. Principal Dot McKeever Jeter's in the building. Alana Michelle, Principal Tammy Taylor is in the building. Man, Tammy, I got to watch you guys on the rerun. My phone rang right when you came on, and I had to take this call, and I missed you. But I'm gonna watch the rerun because I don't miss you all at all. Angela Cusack is in the building. Angela, good to see you. That's Angela from down there in North Carolina. Good to see you. Good to see you. Nancy Osagi is in the building. Charlena Hottie's in the building. Greg Sneed, newly minted principal. Greg Sneed in the building. Man, we got so many people getting these principal jobs done and assistant principal jobs as well. Dominique Nikki Brown's in the building. Oh, it's just about 11 o'clock, y'all. Let me go. Cammie Berry is here. Where we at? Sean Hurt is in the building, man. Principal Sean Hurt was like dropping. Let me tell y'all, if you didn't watch Sean Hurt this morning, you better go back and watch Sean Hurt, because Sean Hurt was dropping some jewels this morning on his page, Sean Hurt. So go check him out as well. Hey, look, y'all, it's 11 o'clock. I got the big time guest on here. It's 11 o'clock. Let me get it started formally. Hit the share button for me. Hit the retweet button for me. Let them know I'm here. Tell them don't tune in late after I do my announcements. I need you here during the announcements. So hit that share button, hit the retweet button, and let me say to you formally now, good morning. Greetings. Welcome to week 109 of the virtual AP Leadership Academy. And as I always say, I don't know about you. Told my wife I wasn't even going to do this like this today, but I got to. I don't know about you. I think I know because I see the numbers, I see your names, and even the ones who are not checking in terms of comments, I know you're there based on the numbers. So I think I know how you feel. But I need you to know how I feel, particularly this week. I'm on fire! Woo! Let me tell y'all something. Last night, late, I said to my wife, I'm not going to do that this morning in respect to the kind of week we had in America. Matter of fact, impacting the world. I told I'm not doing that. And then about 5 minutes ago, I said I have to. Let me tell you why. I had to release that, man. I had to release it. And I tell you every week, that's all it is. It's a release. And I didn't realize until 5 minutes ago, I'm sitting here talking to Hamish. I didn't say it to him. But in my spirit, in my soul, I said, I got to release this, man. Let me tell y'all something. It is okay to not be okay right now. It's fine. Like because see, most of us, we would have never met the staff, the students, the community in Uvalde, but we know them now. And because we know them, we are impacted. Some of us at a very high level. We're impacted. I've been impacted. I've been posting every day about it. I've been thinking about it. I've been watching news channels that I don't normally watch because I just want to see the updates. I want to hear from the children. I want to hear from the staff. So I'm going to say to you again, it's okay not to be okay. I knew I haven't been okay this week. I know that. Because I've told you this before. I'm going to tell you again. Those of you who have been tuning into us for all this time, into me all this time. I look at the world through the lens of a principal. And I haven't been a principal in 11 years. But everything, when I'm watching basketball last night, I'm watching that game through the lens of a principal. Everything I do is through the lens of a principle. It's in my blood. It's in my spirit. It's in my heart. It's in my psyche. It's in my soul. This is who I am. That's why on your screen it says Principal Kafele. It doesn't say Baruti Kafele. It says Principal Kafele because that's who the heck I am. So when I'm looking at the world, I'm looking at it through that lens. So I'm thinking about 19 children, 2 staff members. And I'm asking myself every day, every minute, how would you have handled this? I mean, it's a natural question. And but it's not being judgmental. It's just a natural question. Would my school have been prepared? Was there something we could have done differently? Would I have had a staff member to prop a door to go back and get some? I'm asking myself that question. Again, that's not me judging that teacher. It's just me. I guess I'm really judging me. I'm asking me, would I have been ready? Would I have been prepared? What would I have done in that situation? So I'm saying to somebody out there again, it's okay to not be okay. Because this is devastating, man. This is impacting everybody. right? So I said to myself, I want y'all to hang with me. I got my man on, Hamish Brewer. We gonna have a great conversation. But I told him, I said, I need a few minutes before I bring you up. Listen, y'all. May 14th, last week was a week after May 14th. And I went into this whole soliloquy about Buffalo that happened May 14th. 10 dead, 10 black people dead due to white racial hatred, right? Then May 16 happens, a shooting at an Asian church in California, 1 dead, 5 injured. But then the 24th, 10 days after Buffalo, Uvalde, 19 children dead, others injured, and 2 teachers dead. And I said, before I get into this conversation, because I'm doing this right, these young people and staff at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas, I asked myself all week, just like in the past several days, just as you did, what can I do? We all ask that question. What can I do? How can I do something to change the world? We all ask ourselves that question. And in real time, while I'm on this broadcast, I said, well, the best I could probably do is just to bring their names into this broadcast. So I'm going to mess up some of the pronunciation, but I have to say their names, as I did last week with the Buffalo victims. Alejandria Anaya Rubio, 10 years old. Alethea Ramirez, 10. A. Marie Joe Garzo, 10. Annabelle Guadalupe Rodriguez, 10. Eliana Cruz Torres, 10. No, that's Eliana. Yeah. I think I did that one right. And then Ellie Garcia, 9. Jackie Cazares, 10. Jayla Nicole Silguero, 10. JC Livanos, 10. Jose Flores, 10. McKenna Lee Elrod, 10. Mayday Rodriguez, and I don't have an age there. Miranda Mathis, 11. Neve Bravo. Rogelio Torres, 10. Tess Marie Mata. Uzia Garcia, 8. Xavier Lopez, 10. And then 2 teachers, Eva Morales, 44, and Irma Garcia, 48. But I can't say Irma Garcia without mentioning Joe Garcia, her husband, who died of a heart attack not long after leaving flowers at the makeshift memorial, right? So, as people would say, died of a broken heart, which I understand. So appreciate the Ashes Hafiz once again. So I felt like before we get into our conversation, I have to make sure that I honor the victims of a shooting massacre in Uvalde, Texas, this past week, May 24. So with that said, and I'm gonna say what Hafiz said, Ashe, right? Which simply is comparable to saying amen, right? Let's move on while keeping the spirit of the 19 within us the whole time. Let me move on. I want to say welcome to all the first timers. Every week we have first timers that come in, and welcome to you. I'm glad you're here. Don't let this be your last time. Let it be your first time. And then those of you who are first timers and you want to see the 108 sessions that you miss, just go to my YouTube channel at Virtual AP Leadership Academy. Go there and you will see all of the sessions that you missed. In fact, here's all the information on the bottom of the screen. Congrats to all the folks getting these jobs, man. I'm getting a lot of emails and inboxes and DMs, and I'm so happy to hear the volume of people who are getting these positions as principals, as assistant principals, and other positions in terms of what you work so hard to attain. And some of you are giving me credit for with the virtual AP Leadership Academy or the interview videos, and I say thank you. Thank you. I'm glad I could play a small role in helping you to move to that next level. School Leadership Institute, as I've been saying for the past several weeks, we're taking the virtual AP Leadership Academy on the road, and we will be in Charlotte, North Carolina. It's called the School Leadership Institute for 2 days, July 12 and 13. I'd love to see you down there with us. So 12 and 13, go Google School Leadership Institute with Principal Kafele. Put in there 5th annual so you get the right one. School Leadership Institute with Principal Kafele, 5th annual. Click that and then register, and then join me in Charlotte, North Carolina, July 12 and 13. My other public conferences, go to principalkafele.com and just go scroll down on the homepage, and you'll see all my public conferences for the summer. Click the links and register, and I see you there. We could take some selfies together or sign some books, or just do some fist bumps, right? I don't shake too many hands these days. You know, I still got COVID paranoia, but we certainly do the fist bumps. So come on down and join me at some of them conferences or at the Institute, July 12 and 13. My guest and I, we were talking offline. I'm wearing the Black Giants. You know, for those of you who are new, you know, all I wear on these broadcasts are either Negro League jerseys or Major League jerseys of historical Black players. But this is the Black Giants. This is the Dallas, Texas Black Giants. So a lot of people are not aware of this particular team, but they existed. I just got my hands on this one recently. So I got over 50 of these things, man. I tell you, I'm Superman when I put them on. Because some of the greatest, some of the baddest baseball, forget Black, some of the baddest baseball players that ever lived, that ever graced the planet, played in the Negro Leagues. Why? Because they were born Black. They were born Black and were not permitted in the major leagues. But you check the records. Babe Ruth hit 714 home runs. Hank Aaron hit 755. Barry Bonds hit whatever he hit. I don't keep up with Barry's records too much, right? But Hank Aaron's my guy. 755. Well, Josh Gibson, who played for the Homestead Grays, hit 800. One of them, he hit Yankee Stadium right in the Bronx, hit it right out the stadium onto the street, right? It's just a bomb, right? And it's so much more. I'm not going to get into it today, but for those of you who are new, that's what I rock every Saturday morning with pride. I can't wait to I actually take the shirt out of the closet on Friday afternoons, right? And hang it outside the closet so I can just look at it when I go up to my room. And I'm like, man, I can't wait to put that jersey on tomorrow, man. So it's because I feel like I got certain power that I don't normally have when I'm wearing it, right? So let's keep moving. I'm just about done. Last thing, just to remind everybody, there is an underlying theme to this virtual AP Leadership Academy, and that is the question: does my assistant principalship benefit my school academically? Right? That's what it's about. It's about holding up that mirror, which I need to get out of my bag, holding up that mirror and asking yourself every day. Let me see what Stallings. Barry Bonds, the greatest home run hitter. We'll talk about that later, Stallings. Right? So yeah, it's about that mirror and asking yourself, does my assistant principalship benefit my school academically? If you're a principal, then it's you asking yourself as the leader of that AP, is there something about my training, my modeling of that AP, that AP's leadership benefits the school academically, right? With that being said, I've completed my announcements, man. I got Hamish Brewer in the building. Let me bring him up here, man. I got Hamish Brewer. I got the skateboarding tattoo principal in the building. Good morning to you, sir.
What's up, brother? Let's go, baby. Let's go. It's go time.
Let's go, man. People been excited that you're gonna be on here. Let me, before I jump into it, before I read your bio and show the video, I want to share a tweet that you wrote.
Yes, sir.
Last week. Let me read this to everybody. You said, so sick and tired of seeing little to nothing done by lawmakers to help stop and eradicate mass shootings. It's despicable that we continue to see, even after our most vulnerable are impacted, little to no change in movement on topics and laws that could make a difference. So what I wanted to ask you, what are your thoughts that you might want to share to our audience relative to who you are as principal as it relates to what you wrote?
Yeah, man. First of all, thank you for having me today. Look, I'm glad you brought it today. I'm glad you didn't hold nothing back with that introduction. You got me fired up because, we honor those by making sure we continue to press forward and be the tip of the spear and continue to be some light in a dark place. And what I wanted to say was, I wrote that out of true frustration at the point, as a principal, and I think when exactly what you said, it's okay not to be okay, and it's incredibly tough, and I just was thinking about it again and again and again, and the fact that, first of all, can I just say, devastated,
Yeah.
absolutely heartbroken and devastated, man. And I look at it through the lens that when I'm a leader, when I'm a principal, that's someone's child, that's someone's baby that didn't go home that day. And that's what cuts like a blade. It cuts like a blade, that if our most vulnerable, our babies can be cut down like this, that's not enough to make change, then what is?
Yeah.
We've been through so much these last few weeks and even the last couple of years, and we continue to see no change. We continue to see no movement. And there's days that, well, we all have platforms and opportunities to share and speak. I'm like, I feel powerless. I feel absolutely powerless. And it just tears me up. But what I can do each and every day is be the difference in my community and to advocate and to amplify their voices and to try to continue to stand there. But it's not okay. Like, when did it become okay that we just have a few press conferences and we move on? We got to stop just moving on. That time builds a bridge, that water travels under that bridge, and until the next, there should be no next. There can't be no next. We cannot allow there to be another, but there continues to be another again and again and again, and it has to stop. We can't sit on the sidelines. And all I feel like is I see lawmakers protecting their own interests, sitting on the sideline and not keeping it real and protecting them and being so true to it, So that's where I'm at, man. I'm at my frustration point that we continue. I'm not going to try and get political with it today or anything like that, but I'm just going to be real. I don't believe that an 18-year-old needs to be able to have access to semi-automatic weapons and things like that. I'm not saying get rid of it all and all that. I'm saying we don't need that. Our communities don't need that. Kids don't need to be able to have that access, But again, that's someone's child. That was someone's baby that they sent off to us that morning. And they give us the ultimate responsibility every day to take care and protect. And as leaders, that's not what we're thinking about. We're not thinking about protecting that. But I'll never forget it with my own child when my boy was 6 and we were at Chick-fil-A, and he said, "Dad," he said, "what do we do if someone comes in here with a gun?" And I just froze. And I thought of my own child. That's what they were thinking about. Man, they should be thinking about getting like slide burns, going down the slide and burning their butts and riding their bicycle and trying to make jumps and skip rope and things like that. That's what they should be focused on. They shouldn't have to be worrying about what's going to come through the front door, And
Right.
I've lost students and what have you to youth suicide and things like that. And that was devastating. Some of the hardest things I've ever led a community through. And I'm not even sure I have the right answer of how I would respond and be prepared and ready and able. And I'm just going through the emotions all over again.
Yeah. No, it's a tough one, but I appreciate everything you shared. That's powerful stuff. Switching gears, as I ask every speaker that comes on here before we even get to the bio. A lot of people are looking for inspiration. A lot of people are looking for motivation. And just based on the past 2 years and beyond, when you're in leadership, you can use all the motivation you can get. So I want to ask you, reflecting on your past 7 days, your past week since last Saturday. I know you had some wins. I don't know what they are, but I know you had some. I know you had some wins, you had some successes. Share with us a win that you had in your capacity, or if it's beyond your capacity, a win that may resonate with somebody else out there that's looking for something to inspire them in their journey.
Yeah, you know what, guys? You never know. You never know when I talk a lot about legacy, and I'm sure we'll get into a bit of more of that as we get on here today. But
Yeah.
you never know when it's going to come knocking. And as a leader, as an aspiring leader or leader, we got principals and APs in there. First of all, thank you for everything that you've done and achieved these last couple of years. Everything that you have managed to walk that walk and walk through it, emotionally, physically, mentally, and to continue to turn up every day for your students, your staff, and your community. Just first of all, thank you. But you never know when that legacy is going to come knocking. That legacy comes knocking when you least expect it. And you know this as a teacher, and I want to tell you that never disappears once you're a leader. It'll continue to come. It'll continue to come knocking. And it came knocking for me this week. Brother, it came knocking for me this week, and I had a school that I did I spoke to Oasis, to their middle schools, high schools, and elementaries in Florida over a year ago, well over a year ago, and one of the classes really took on the mantra of relentless. And sometimes you think, what's my impact? And sometimes your impact's happening when you're not looking. And so sometimes your greatest impact is happening when you're not looking, right? And remember those words. And the kids from the classroom, the classroom wrote their own Relentless book and sent me a Relentless book this week. And
Wow.
that's what it reminded me what we're fighting for each and every day, that those 30 students in that class, and I got to meet them online. I had to meet them on Zoom, man. I had to hit them up and say thank you. And so that was for me this week, through everything that's been going on the last 7 days, to be able to have that moment earlier in the week and to remind me what we fight for each and every day and stand up for. And your legacy, you never know when it come knocking. Those kids now are taking on a relentless mantra that they made their own. It's not mine. It's not mine. I don't own none of this. We all own it together, and it's up to us to make it ours. You make it ours. You take the good from all of us. These amazing virtual leadership academies every week, you take all that knowledge and go make it yours, right? Go make it yours. You do something with it. And that's what it's about. And so to have those little ones reach out to me and share their Relentless book and write a Relentless book and give me my own personalized copy reminded me right there what we do.
That's powerful. See, that's that inspiration I'm talking about. Hey, listen, y'all, hit the share button, hit the retweet. And I got to tell y'all, we're going to be on here for a while. I haven't even gotten to the bio yet, right? And Hamish just said something. I can't go to the bio just yet, right? I asked him, I said, you got time? He said, as much as you need. So y'all, listen, y'all.
All day.
You and I are authors. And I want everybody on here, I want you to hear this. Whether it be writing a book, writing a blog, recording a video, whatever it is, with your creativity, I'm talking to somebody out there right now, with your creative genius, you craft something. And when it's a finished product, it looks good. I mean, it could just be a blog post, 500 words. It looks good. But the key is getting it into somebody else's hands, somebody else's eyes, somebody else's heart, somebody else's soul. And when it gets there, that's when we talk in legacy. So once it gets there and then that person takes it and does something with it to take their game, their community to another level, right? So it does. Some of you out there may never write anything that's published, but it doesn't have to be something in writing. It could be just you being you in your leadership. And now it's something about the way you present yourself that your youngster goes home and starts emulating you and starts internalizing you. And now who you are that you may take for granted has rubbed off on that person, that youngster. And now that youngster is taking your legacy to another level and you don't even realize what's happening. See, so I'm saying that you inspired this from me, Hamish, when you just said what you said. Hey, somebody out there, don't forget, you're not just doing things to be doing them in real time. It could have implications 20, 30, 50, 100 years from now. Never, ever lose sight of that, man. Man, let me read this bio to y'all because we got a lot of questions here. It's long, y'all. And as I was reading, I said, I can't cut any of this out. Right? So just hang with me for a second. Hamish Brewer is a powerful and positive disruptor. Got to say that word again, disruptor, who transcends the status quo and typical norms in leadership and education. Mr. Brewer is a globally recognized advocate who built his reputation on results and performance, becoming affectionately known as the Relentless tattooed skateboarding principal, with his galvanizing message to be relentless in his octane delivery style. I might add, before I read this next paragraph, I met Hamish in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I knew his work for a long time, but I met him in Albuquerque. We were both keynoters at this conference, and I stayed to listen to his keynote. And man, after I heard that, I said, I'm sold right there. But I got to tell you this, Hamish, and everyone that's listening. Because I'm a speaker, I really zero in on how people close, right? How they gonna close this out? And man, you brought that closure, brought it in your home language, right? And it's in the book and all. If you want to get into it, and I say, man. I said, this man know how to close, right? Because everybody don't know how to close. They can give a good speech, but they don't know how to bring it home. See, as a speaker, you got to know how to bring it home. You can't just great speech and then I thank you all for listening. Have a good day. That's not a close, man. You got to like, bam, right? Yeah. That everybody, oh man. See, that's a close. You got to know how to close. So let me keep going, y'all. We can get the whole thing and just talk about closing a speech, right? Mr. Brewer served as an award-winning principal at both the secondary and elementary school levels, recognized as the NAESP, National Association of Elementary School Principals, Nationally Distinguished Principal and Virginia Principal of the Year. He was also honored as the Virginia Elementary School Principal of the Year, School Bell Award, and ASCD Virginia Impact Award. Hamish was named a Northern Virginian of the Year by Northern Virginia Magazine and Principal of the Year for the online national publication Education Dive. Prince William County Public Schools named Hamish the School Division Principal of the Year, and Hamish was recently recognized by Omega U as the Principal of the Year. Man, that's a lot of stuff, man. Under his leadership, his elementary school was recognized as a nationally distinguished Title I school, and Hamish has since gone on to turn around one of the toughest middle schools in the state of Virginia. Mr. Brewer is a highly sought-after international keynote speaker, motivating and inspiring audiences around the world, including being recognized as a TEDx speaker. Originally from New Zealand, Hamish earned his first degree from the University of Auckland. Mr. Brewer is currently a doctoral student at the Virginia Tech University. Hamish is the best-selling author of Relentless, Disrupting the Educational Norm, published in 2019. Get your copy, get your other device. Go ahead and order it right now while I'm reading this bio at Amazon.com. You can get it right now. They got books in stock while I'm reading the bio. I'm almost done. Mr. Brewer currently consults with businesses and organizations around the world on leadership, culture, organizational performance, change, and improvement. As a Beachhead's advisor to the New Zealand trade enterprise, he assists New Zealand businesses with their growth and advises them on strategic development in the North American marketplace. Mr. Brewer previously served at the state level as the Federal Relations Coordinator on the Board of Directors with the Virginia Association of Elementary School Principals and was a lead fellow at NAESP Center for Innovative Leadership. He is a school turnaround and school improvement specialist working with some of the most at-risk students in the United States. Mr. Brewer was highlighted as a hometown hero by Fox 5 in Washington, D.C. Last paragraph, with more than 32 million views, his story is a viral sensation through Freethink docuseries Relentless and features in national news broadcasts across the United States and Australia, including NBC and Lester Holt. Mr. Brewer is also featured in the skateboarding humanitarian documentary Humanity Stoked. Whew, that's a lot, man. You've accomplished a lot in a very short period of time. Folks, I want to show you a quick 4-minute video. Hang with me while I pull it up and check this out. I want you to see him in action. So just 4 minutes of a much longer video. Here we go. Here we go.
All right, everybody, take a seat. Come in real close. When I first met you, there was a lot of defeat. There was a lot of sadness, a lot of anger. I wanted kids to love school. I wanted teachers to love school. I wanted you to love being a teacher again. Because that's why we got into this, to be teachers, to be educators. It's not about exams. What it's about is us loving each other, loving kids, coming to school every day to make a difference in somebody's life. And that's what we did.
The essence of school is preparing kids for life. You know, preparing them for something bigger, to be part of something special, to make a difference in the world, you know. Life is about the opportunity you have to impact the world around you.
Yes, thank you for
So
telling
we
me.
need to be that positive influence and that positive message, because they might not get that somewhere else. Fred Lynn was considered one of the toughest schools in the state of Virginia. Our kids have been through a lot: poverty, crime, violence. We were a underachieving, failing school. That was that expectation that we couldn't rise up from underachievement and failure.
Good morning.
You know, we're really on a mission to show the world what can truly happen when you believe in your kids.
All right, good morning, everybody. Have a fantastic day. Let's be amazing. Let's make a difference.
Thank you. All right, let's go. Have a great day.
Being a great teacher is hard work. You have the hardest job on the planet. But what I'm going to tell you is I've seen some things with some negativities creeping in, and I don't want it. Our kids are not getting any favors. Our kids have it hard enough as it is. So we have to do something different because some of our results have not changed. We got work to do. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Get to class, get to class. Let's go, get to class, let's go.
I've put a lot of energy and effort into running around the building, chasing kids down the corridors to ensure that shift in culture.
5, 4, sitting down. 3, 2. I still see folders in the middle here. Tidy it up. So I'm not going to hear Bo Peep out of here again, am I? Get to work.
Before I got here to Fred Lynn, we'd been unaccredited for a number of years. Becoming an accredited school means that you're meeting some minimum required academic performance levels. We're on a mission to give a school back to its community.
It is hard to be an authentic, relevant teacher every day. You know why? Because it takes preparation, it takes effort, it takes time. But if we don't expose them, we don't give them those opportunities, we're setting them up for failure.
Year after year, we failed. The kids start to feel, the teachers feel, are we going to fail again? It's hard to get up every day and thinking like the world thinks you're going to fail. But all of a sudden, Hamish Brewer comes in with this whole new mindset and this whole new idea of you can do it however you want. If it's good for kids, then it's good for education. And it was easy for that idea of Relentless to take over.
Mr. Brewer. Good morning. Good morning. Hey, good morning, everybody. What do you think? Did you guys help put them together for me? This is awesome. Skateboard program is about advocating for every child. I'll take 2 of them now. You know, the one thing about skateboarding back in the day was they were the bad kids. Don't hang out with them. Whereas we're trying to say that every kid deserves to just be able to be themselves. So we do it by giving away skateboards. Drum roll, please. All right, and the winner is Aiden. Yeah! What do you think?
It's really cool.
You gonna use
the
it?
best.
It's the best? That's yours, okay?
Thank you.
Show your friends.
The most important thing that takes place in a school is relationships. Nothing moves without a relationship. And we said love was going to be at the top of the list. That was a key component that we had to get back to, leading and teaching through love.
I couldn't be more proud of you. Well done, man. You feel good?
Yes.
All right, love you, buddy.
Love you too.
All right.
All right. I just wanted to show you a few minutes. That was great stuff. Great stuff. Hey, Hamish, talk to us about very briefly about how that whole documentary came into play.
For sure, for sure. Just before I jump in, I apologize for that long bio, but I just want to take a minute to thank everybody that was a part of that. You know, we stand on the shoulders of the greats. We stand on the shoulders of so many amazing people that have been there before us. And my success is truly a credit to my community, to my parents, to my students, and to my faculty and my staff. Without them, I don't get a bio like that, man. It takes a village, and you want to be a great leader. I want to hit you leaders out there. You want to be a great leader. Never forget, man, we stand on the shoulders of everybody around us, and we stand on the shoulders of great. And so humble ourselves as leaders to never forget how we got there, who got us there, who supported us along the way, and who took the time to listen. And so I just wanted to share that and be thankful for that. It's really important. But man, Relentless. So I get this crazy phone call, man. They be hitting me up, and it was right before I made the transition to Fred Lynn, and I was at Occoquan. We just became the very first nationally distinguished Title I school in a big division, which was really unusual because we have a long history and we have a lot of schools, and you would have thought we would have already had one of those. And it was posted up in the Washington Post, and some folks caught a hold of it and were interested in the story, and they called me up, and they're like, man, we want to do a segment on you. I'm like, you're all crazy, like, I'm not into this. This is not what I'm about. It's not what I signed up for. And I pretty much ignored it. And then they came by a couple more times. We sat down and we talked, and I said, you know what, man, if we're making this, it's going to be authentic. It's got to be real, and it's got to be able to help others and grow others. And it's got to be able to send some messages. I don't want no fake message out there. So we got together. It's unprecedented. It was really an unusual piece that took on a life of its own, and was so well received. It just continued to grow, and so many more people got behind it, enjoyed it, and have learned from it. And you'll see that piece right at the beginning of that particular one. I think this was the number 2 in the doc series. There's three episodes, but in that one I talk about never forget. Like that feeling. I talk about this on stage a little bit, but I want you all to never forget that feeling in your heart and soul when you went for your first interview. That first interview you went for, man, and you were so excited. You couldn't wait to get that job. You couldn't wait because you wanted to make a difference. You wanted to be the difference for somebody, right? For a child, you wanted to be a teacher, right? An educator. I want you to never forget that feeling. I want every day that you come to school, every day that you turn up, that's how you feel, that you turn up with that fire, that passion.
That's right.
And so never forget that, man. Never forget how much to love on our kids and love on each other and enjoy it and turn up every day, right? Every day.
Turn up every day. Let's jump into it. Hamish, as an educator, we got this, I read the bio, I showed the video, we've heard some of your preliminary thoughts, but I still want to ask you, as an educator, who exactly is Hamish Brewer? Who are you?
Man, I think about this a lot, and a lot of people ask me this, and I think it's something that's buried steep in our culture, in our native culture, our Māori people, from New Zealand, and we believe a lot in the baskets of knowledge from the past, the present, and the future. We carry those 3 baskets with us at any one time. And so I think the best answer for me is to answer it through that. It's the person I was, it's the person I is, and it's the person I'm becoming, and every day I'm trying to be a little bit better, man. I'm a failed individual. I'm not perfect. I mean, don't believe the smoke and mirrors, man. There's days I hurt. There's mental health. There's all of that for all of us, man. That's real. I'm just going to keep it real. The job we do, the work we do as leaders is incredibly hard. Not everybody knows it. Until your name's on Velcro on that front door, they don't know, right? Everybody wants to do it. But I will tell you, man, I was a kid that grew up in poverty. My parents separated. My mother left me. Grew up around too much alcohol, domestic violence, and just everything, and I failed my high school exams. And I think everything I fight for every day is for everybody that said I couldn't be something, couldn't be anybody, and tearing down those barriers and going back to that time. And I've spent my time in Title I. That I know my lane. That's where I've spent my time, and I think it's a reflection of who I was and where I came from and what I've been through. And wanting to make a difference for like-minded kids that are, like to sleep in a garage, to not eat, to not have the cool clothes, and to not have the lunch that day. I understand what that was, and I went through that and walked that walk, and just want to be there for that kid that was me. And I think that's when I really unpack it. When anybody asks that question, I think that's what I keep coming back to, man. that hurt, that pain, but it was also the best thing for me, man. It's a double-edged sword, man. It's also what drives me each and every day to make a difference and show people that when you believe in them and you love on them and you never give up, man. That I'm not saying we're accomplishing perfect outcomes, but we're helping provide opportunity, access, and some love and what have you. So, man, when you ask that question, I think that's where it starts for me, man. But it's a past, present, and future, right?
Yeah. Well, with all, with the pain, with the trial and the tribulations that you experienced, you still made a decision along your journey that you wanted to become an educator.
Yeah.
What made you decide to become an educator? And what, over all these years, what continues to fuel your passion for the work that you do?
Oh, bro, this has evolved from something that was really immature and silly to something way more mature today. Like, I mean, back in the day, I had a counselor that said, "Hamish, you can't stay at school forever. What are you going to do?" And it's a pretty funny story, because I was repeating years at school because of my failure, and basically I was timing out age-wise, and I finally got an opportunity. The facts came through, and I tried everything from I'm going to be a builder, I'm going to be in tourism, I'm going to all these things. But what kept coming back to me is I love kids. It kept coming back. I love working with kids. There was a little bit of silliness, man. I thought teachers had their summer off, like we get our summers off. Who wouldn't want to get paid and get your summer off, man? So a little bit of silliness there, but I got an opportunity to go to teachers college, and I went and tried it. I went and kind of did a day in the classroom and tried it out, and it just clicked. Something just absolutely clicked for me, man. I felt in rhythm. I felt at home, and I knew this is where I was meant to be. So, that's kind of where it started out, that's the quick drawn down one. But as I got older, where I am today, what it's about today is that, you come to understand that somebody gifts you with their child. Community gifts you with their child, a parent, a caregiver. I've never met a caregiver, a parent that doesn't want more for their child, man. And to have that responsibility in my hands, and when they drop them off and they look at you, because they feel almost helpless, right? They're handing this over to you, they're handing it over to me to take care of, man. There's no greater opportunity than no greater opportunity than to have that child and to take them and to love on them, to nourish on them, to hold them, to lift them up, and to be hope and to give opportunity. That's what it's about, man. I look in the eyes. People are like, why did you come to school every day fired up that way? Because I look in their eyes.
Yeah.
I look in their eyes, man. It's deeper than that. It's not about paychecks for me. It's not about any of that. It's not about likes, retweets. You get legacy versus likes, man. It's not the likes. It's that one parent, right? It's that one parent that stands there and does the handover, and you accept them. And that's me. That I get that every day. That's what it's about. When a community looks to you for hope, like it became bigger for me as I started to turn around schools and get more involved in, because I didn't look at it as just a school turnaround or a school growth. I saw it as a whole community. It was a whole community, man. As a leader, as a principal, when I'm in a school, I think about it as a whole community thing, that we're driving as a village. It takes a village. It takes all the stakeholders. It's bigger. It's bigger than just that, right? It's that name on that building, that name on that community. And to think that when everybody else sits on the sideline, has something to say, throws darts, pokes fun, and they're all sitting on the sideline. Screw that. You want to talk. I say this all. You want to talk about my kids? You got something to say about my kids? You're going to write about my kids? I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to fight you for my kids. And you know what? You can come find me. I'm real easy to find. And so now you get me hyped, man. Now I'm getting fired up, because that's the essence of what it is, man. A lot of people had way too much to say about my kids, my teachers, my community. I ain't going to sit on the sidelines. People think you're crazy, but you know what, man? I'm all in on that.
I love what you said, and I love the passion, and I'm fighting myself not to jump in and continue that line of thinking, because I got stories to share. About going to bat for my kids, about fighting for my kids, about fighting against the things that have been said about my kids, right? So I can definitely appreciate that. And also what you said about just someone gifting us, a parent gifting us with their child. Man, that mindset, that throws the money the prestige, the status, everything about the job out the window, because the gift of a child to position oneself, to mold, to shape into whatever that youngster was born to become, man, you can't ask for a better gift, man. The gift.
Yeah. And I'm not, and you know what? I'm not trying to solve the neighborhood problems. I'm not trying to solve any of that. You know, there's things I can't change, right? But the one thing I can do is provide opportunity. I can provide access. I'm not there to save. I'm not there to change. I'm there to provide an opportunity, a pathway, and access. And let me tell you something. I'm gonna drop you some gold and some nuggets here for our listeners, bro. Let me tell you something. My lens changed when I ran with this statement. I want every single one of you to take it, steal it, and use it. Here's what I'm going to tell you. This is the lens I want you all to see your leadership through. We don't enroll students. We enroll family. We enroll family. Take that, make that your mantra. And when you bring a new child to school every single day, it's not just that child, it's the family. We take the family, we take everybody. And when you have that lens, your community has that lens, great things happen.
Yeah, you enroll. Y'all hear that? You enroll the family. And I agree with that wholeheartedly. You enroll the family. You know, Hamish, then you know, here you are, you were educator, you were a teacher, but then somewhere along your journey, you decide, I want to lead a school. I want to be a principal. And my question to you, as I ask everybody, beyond this platform, we all want to be a principal. Those of us who decide to become, for various different reasons. I had various different reasons, but I had one that superseded everything else. My question to you, when you consider the various reasons that you wanted to lead a school, was there one that kind of dominated everything else that you said, but I must do it for this particular reason? Did you have one of those?
Yeah, you know what? I think for me, over time, it grew from restlessness. You know, a lot of people, you know, I was always naturally a leader. Well, I might not have been an academic. I was very naturally gifted leader right from an early age, whether it be sports captain on our sports teams growing up, things like that. But even as a teacher, I found myself leading. And I say this all the time to people, whatever position you're in, you have a position to lead. You have a responsibility to still lead, because you lead as an AP, you lead as a teacher, you lead as a principal, you lead from the position you're in, right? You lead by ensuring that what's being done gets done. What you've been asked to do gets done. That's a leadership responsibility. But over time, more and more people kept coming to me for more and more advice, and it just continued to grow. It was a real natural evolution until, you know, my thing was I'm not one to sit on the sidelines. I'm not one to be a follower. I'm the tip of the spear. I want to be the tip of the spear. I want to live and die on my own sword. And I can't sit on the sidelines and listen to negativity and listen to people complaining about this and that and the next thing. So for me, the impetus was that it was a very natural progression that just moved pretty quick, except for I got to give a shout out to my principal when I was an AP, Miss Jewel Moore. A much more experienced principal than I'd ever be, an old soul, man, and I owe it all to her. There was times, and I want you to hear this, APs and leaders out there, man. I was sitting in the AP chair my first year, and she used to make me do all the phone calls, and I'm like, they don't want to speak to me. They want to speak to the principal. They ain't want to speak to the AP. And she said, Hamish, you're going to deal with it. You're going to take care of it. You're answering that call. And I used to think that she was giving me a hard time, making me do all this grunt, dirty work. But you know what? It can't be all thrills, fun and excitement. You know, there's work. There's work to be done. And she made me do the work. And the best thing I ever did was take those calls, meet those parents, have those meetings, and it really set me up for success as a principal. So shout out to Miss Jewel Moore from Prince William County, who made me who I am today, rounded up the diamond. But it was a natural progression. And again, man, I want to be the tip of the spear. That's it, man. There's no fancy thrills. I want to be the tip of the spear for the community, for the school, and I just have a passion for leading. I have a passion for that. So it was, that was my calling. Bro, that was my calling. You talked about it as a principal. This is what we do. This is what I do.
Your calling. Shout out to Principal Moore, correct?
Yeah, Miss Jewel Moore. Yep.
June Moore. You know, Hamish, skateboarding, backpacking, tattoos all have significance to your personal journey, your historical journey, relative to who you became as an educator, as I read. I want you to talk to our audience about the significance of the three in terms of the lessons that came out of the three: skateboarding, backpacking, and tattoos, as it relates to their leadership growth and development.
Yeah, yeah. So a couple of things that, man, life is a journey, right? We go on a journey, and it takes us many different directions. But for kids, families, and communities, they see through fake. They
Yeah.
know the real ones, man. They know the real ones. They know when they come into your office and sit down and you're not giving them a real shakedown. You're not being real. Even in the hardest conversations, leading through love and being authentic. That's what those three things come down to: being authentically you, authentic, relevant, and real. And as I said, man, kids, parents, communities, they see through fake, right? And so much of what I've done is often a metaphor for things, right? Like, what happened in schools that we say every kid counts. Everybody says every kid counts, right up until it's something that you dislike, or they break a rule, or it's not the norm. Well, what is the norm, man? What is the norm? Who gives you the right to pick and choose what's the norm, man? You don't pick and choose what's real and what's authentic and what's the norm based on someone's tattoos, skateboards, interests, hobbies, their religion, their color, any race, any of that, man. Like, that's wrong. It's just straight up wrong. And so all too often, the skateboarding one's an easy one, right? Like, who were those kids when we went to school? They were the bad kids. Don't hang out with them. Well, let me give you some perspective about that, right? Those same kids today, they can be Olympians.
Mm-hmm.
Skateboarders can be Olympians today. It's an Olympic sport. So
Right.
before you poke holes or poke at people, man, just remember some of that. But backpacking, it took me away from a lot of everything I'd been through, and allowed me to grow up and really learn. And you get to travel. I love traveling the world, and I love visiting seeing new people, cultures, and experiences, man. I mean, one I wrote about in the book. One of the greatest experiences I had was with a little old Thai guy when I was rock climbing, and I was going through a tough period, and he just said, "Why not?" I kept having excuses. I had excuses for everything. Why I wasn't doing stuff, why I couldn't do this, why I couldn't do that. And this guy said to me, "Why not? Why not get after it?" And it's those experiences, learning from others, man. If we opened our hearts a little more, opened our minds a little more, and listened just a little bit more, the world would be a little bit better place every day, just a little bit better, just like that. And you know what? There's not enough listening in this world. There's not a lot. There's a lot of talking. There are a lot of people talking, and a lot of people talking about nothing they know nothing about, but they think they can stand in someone's shoes. Don't talk about someone if you ain't walked in their shoes. Talk about someone like you experience what they've been through. You can't do that.
Right.
And so, I just bring that to the table. And I think, why is it that, educators are an organism, a microorganism of everything in life, but you're told to hide it all away? You're told to hide it. Hey, you got to dress this way. You got to look this way. You got to be. No, you don't. Our kids need us to be authentically us, to be real, to be able to make connections, to be able to engage them, to be able to help have that conversation with them, right? So
I love it. And the folks who were with me on my last solo Saturday, that I'm doing this whole 2-year theme of authenticity. So you singing my song right now when you talk about being one's authentic self, and obviously that's who and what you are. You bring your authenticity to the work every day. But in addition to your authenticity, you do this at a very high level. I mean, I read the bio. I deliberately read the full bio and then showed the video. You have accomplished a lot in a very short period of time at a high level, which takes a whole lot of drive, a whole lot of determination, a whole lot of passion in order to make it happen. But I would also add a whole lot of patience. There's somebody out there watching. I don't know who they are. I don't know if they've commented on the thread, or if there's somebody that's just kind of laying back and watching, or we'll see the video later on. But there's somebody out there that they're questioning whether or not this is for them. They once had that drive. They once had that determination. They once had that passion to do what you have done, but it's not there right now. I want you to speak to that person and tell them, based on your own authenticity, what do they need to do to get it back?
Here, so a couple of things with that, right? So a couple of things with that. Let me first just say it's ebbs and flows. You know, leadership is ebbs and flows, man. We go through ebbs and flows, ups and downs, trials and tribulations. There's days we fail, there's days we succeed. The work we do is not easy. It's not an easy job to lead a building, to be the front man of that building, to help navigate. You know, you're talking about, let's say on average, you have 100 people in your building, right? Big, small, whatever. You have 100 people in your building, and to try and motivate them, to inspire them, to listen to every single one, man, it takes all your heart and soul, right? It takes absolutely everything, every breath you take. And so, you know, I want to start by saying it's okay. It's okay to be feeling a little flat sometimes. It's okay to be you can't be a runner 100% of the time. That's really difficult. But you know what I'm going to tell you? I'm going to tell you this. It's one more round. It's one more round, man. When you think you're down on that canvas, just like I tell the kids, when you got one knee on that canvas and one fist on that canvas, let me hear you. Let me tell you something. I don't hear the bell ringing, baby. That bell ain't rung. And we got one more round, just like I tell the kids, that life will knock us down again and again and again. But you know what? We have a responsibility to ourselves, to the people around us, to our loved ones, to keep getting back up off that canvas again and again and again. And I believe that, man. I really believe that. But when you really whittle it down to its smallest form, here's what I'm going to tell you, man. It's one step forward. It's one step forward. You put one step forward in front of the other, and that's one better foot than going backwards. You just take one step forward each and every day, and you get a little bit better each and every day. That's okay. But surround yourself, man. Who's your tribe? Who's your village? Who's those people that nourish you every day, that are real with you, right? That are not a fake account with you, man. By the way, man, it's like people be ignoring you on their cell phone. They got their cell phone on their hand, man. They're not answering, but their cell phone's in their hand. They be looking. They're not your tribe. Mm-hmm. They're not your tribe, man. Find the people that lift you up, the people that nourish you, that make you better each and every day. If the people around you don't lift you up and make you better each and every day, just like I tell the kids, cut them loose. Cut them loose. You don't need them, man. Find your tribe, because they ain't standing there with you in the tough time. Most people just want to stand with you when the sun's shining. But when the sun ain't shining, man, when you ain't eating and you have to eat, you find out who's standing with you when you're in that trench, when you're down in that darkest, toughest time. You find those people, man. You find them people, and that's your ride and die. That's who you ride with each and every day. And let me tell you something. The only person you have to answer to is you. You don't answer to nobody else. Yeah. You don't answer to them, man. You answer to this, man, and this soul. When you look in the mirror each and every day, right? When you look in the mirror each and every day, I just ask myself, I say this all the time. I used to have stickers up. When you look in the mirror each and every day, can I say I was better for kids today? Can I say I was better for my colleagues today? That's the answer. I'm the only one that knows the answer to that, man, because I'm the only one I answer to. I'm my toughest critic. I'm my own legacy. I'm my own name. Man, they can take everything. They can take everything, but they can't take my name. They can't take my name. They can't take me. They can't take what I do each and every day to turn up, right? To be there for my kids and my students each and every day. But you got to find your tribe. If you're struggling right now, you got to find your tribe. You got to find your people. And it's coming to things like this each week. It's turning up here every day, just reading this, man, and hearing other people walking the same journey. I think that's the biggest one, knowing you're not alone. You're not alone in this, man. We're all going through it. It's like we travel around, and I get to hear it all the time, like, hey, we're struggling coming out of COVID. Man, let me tell you something. I thought being a principal during COVID was hard. The year after was even harder. Coming out was even harder. And you know what? It's not just you. It's all of us. It's every single one of us, man. It's a national, global conversation. And can I get you to take a minute and just really look back? Man, it was a global event. Don't be too hard on yourself right now. Don't be too hard on yourself. It was a global event. The entire world, the magnitude, the entire world was impacted by this. Yeah. You know, and so sometimes I think as administrators and educators especially, we can be incredibly hard on ourselves and too tough on ourselves. And so sometimes we got to step back. You got to be able to step back. And also, guys, you got to nourish yourself, man. You got to find those things. You got to take your breaks. You got to do the things that you're passionate about. Like everybody's like, man, you got to find balance. Balance bullshit, man. Balance is whatever, man. Balance is about doing more of the things and making the time to do the things that you're passionate about. That's what that is. And sometimes as educators, we get so engrossed, we get so locked in that sometimes we forget those passions. And so don't ever forget to keep living your passion each and every day.
I love it, and with everything that you said, the words that were just kind of swirling in my head were, who's in your circle? Who's in your circle? And all of us have to periodically reevaluate who's in that space. This person who was in this space last year, well, that season was good for that person. But this season we're in now, it's no longer a good fit. But you still got that person in your circle. It was a great fit in 2021. This person was an asset. But in 2022, this person became a liability, but you let him or her hang on. Yep. So you gotta constantly reassess who's in your space, who's in your circle. And your circle, meaning that word, putting emphasis on that word, your circle is not for everyone. That's only for select people. So when the phone rings and they see your name, they got you because it could be something important. Not, I'll call him later, right? That's who's in your circle. But the other thing, and I had to go to my bag and get my mirror, man, because you were talking about that self-reflection. And folks that have been with me the whole time, they know that this mirror goes with me everywhere. I don't own two of them, just one. It goes with me everywhere. Right? Because it's such a potent tool, that self-reflection. Man, I love everything you said. Hamish, in the world of sports, entertainment, the arts, etc., one becomes great at their craft, right? Our leadership is our craft, for example. One becomes great at their craft through relentless, that's your word, relentless preparation, relentless practice, relentless studying of other people who are doing it at a high level, right? And with that practice, real quick, I went to see this play last Saturday night in Broadway. I'm in Jersey, so I'm close to New York. And we went to see MJ the musical, Michael Jackson. And it was this scene that resonated with me where the dancers were fully prepared and ready, but Mike saw some flaws that others would not necessarily see. And his thing was, we got to rehearse this again. And he was striving for this perfection, I guess. But the thing was, he was relentless in the product being what he conceptualized that it could be. So, in other words, through the preparation, through the practice, through the studying other people, we're learning the process toward ultimately getting to a certain place. With you, with the accomplishments that you've made in leadership, talk to our audience about how does one see we talk about growing and developing folks. I want to switch that up. I want to tweak it. I want to say, how does one learn how to be great, how to be amazing, how to be phenomenal, how to be extraordinary? How does one learn that process of becoming that?
Well, first of all, let me just say, it's opportunities like this. It starts right here, man. Can I be real?
Yeah.
We do a terrible job of principal leadership training. Terrible job. And way too often, we just throw people right into it. Deep in, away you go. There's stuff in the textbook. They'll teach you the textbook. But principalship, leadership, that's real life.
Yeah.
That's real life, man. And we do a terrible job at growing. We'll grow teachers all the time. We have PD. We have a catalog of PD for teachers and which you should. Don't get me wrong. We should have that. But where's the catalog for principals? Where's the catalog for APs? Where's that nurturing and nourishment? And so difficult. It's really hard for leaders to be able to learn and grow as a leader because there's so minimal stuff out there. Again, it comes back to finding that tribe and learning your style, right? Like, how do you just learn your style, right? Like I said to, and then also, had a brand new principal just 3 weeks ago. I was talking to the person on the phone, and they took over a school, and some stuff. There were things on the calendar, and it didn't go well. And they were like, "Well, that was because that was already on there. That was pre me." And I said, "You know what? Pre you? There's nothing pre you, bro.
Yeah.
Your name is on that now. That's your name on that. You own every little thing now. No, there's no excuses now. There's no excuses now." And so just sometimes it's that reality check, right? It's that reality check. But, as a young teacher, this was the art skill that I learned. In New Zealand, we used to have to do duty. Kids in New Zealand get to go outside at lunchtime and playtime and run around, but the teachers would go around monitoring. And so you'd check out a classroom, make sure nobody was in there. If there was a kid in there, you kick them out. Well, while I was doing that, man, I'd be paying attention. Man, I had to grow as a teacher. So you know what I was doing? I was going around looking for the best. I was going around looking for the best, find out who the best teachers were, what they were doing. And I took their ideas, I steal it and borrow it and make it mine, right? Learning. And it's okay. I think we have to acknowledge it's okay to learn from each other. Sometimes we work in these silos in education, especially in education and leadership. We get stuck in a silo. We gotta tear down the silos. It can't be a silo. Like, there's so many amazing leaders out there and people we can learn from. And can I tell you, it's okay to take what they're giving you and use it. It's not theirs. It's all borrowed. We don't own none of this. Yeah. I don't own Relentless, right? It's borrowed, man. It's like passed down. It's leadership skills passed down. And you don't have to be that person. You don't have to be the next relentless skateboarding tattooed principal, blah, blah, blah. You don't have to be that. What you have to be and find is the best version of you. That's right. It. That's it for you to grow. Don't measure yourself against what that person's done, this person's done. Comparison is the greatest evil out there right now, if you ask me. I'm saying take everything, learn from it, borrow it, use it, steal it, and make it yours so that you can be the very best version of you. And see through the fake. See through the fake, man. You gotta read, you gotta watch, you gotta listen, and it will show, it will come out. But leadership's a journey, man. It's not perfect out of the gates. Don't think for a minute you got to be perfect out of the gates. It's a journey. It takes time. I was a principal for over 12 years. 12 years and still learning up until the last day of that principalship. Absolutely. Right? There's things I'll do different today because I'm still learning from that, still growing from that. But it takes it's a commitment.
It's a commitment. I love it. Along the same lines, Hamish, there are APs out there. In fact, the reason that I created this platform, I say it to a lot of the guests because I concluded that the most misunderstood and underutilized position in all of education is the assistant principal. And I look at the counselor being a close second in a whole lot of places. So assistant principals, as you were just saying, just being thrown out there. And then a principalship opens up and they may get that position too. And now they're in a principalship, but they don't know what that is because they haven't been exposed. They haven't, the principal didn't prepare them to one day take on that position, right? So my question to you, there's probably a principal or two or more out there watching today, or we'll see the video later. And they're probably saying, amen, I'm that one. I'm a disciplinarian. I supervise lunch duty. I load buses, all that kind of stuff. And the principalship entails so much more. What would you say to that person out there in terms of how they could go about still learning the fullness of the assistant principalship while simultaneously being deprived of the experience and exposure within that AP capacity?
Ooh, that's a good question. So a couple of things. First of all, to all the APs out there, man, you're not trying to be an AP. I'm gonna keep it real. You're not here to be an AP. You're here because you're learning and growing for the next stage. That you have a goal that you want to be a principal one day. So I just want to make sure you're in that that mindset. That's how I think, man. I think you didn't come an AP to be an AP to stay an AP. You became an AP because that's the next step in the journey of where you want to get to, that final destination. But I think too, it's the where a lot of principals and new leaders and APs and that struggle and fall down is the work's not sexy. Yeah. You got to get into the unsexy work, because it's easy to stand at the door and do the high fives, and those things are important. And I loved it. When I stood at the front door, man, it was more than a high five. I believed I was opening the door that day for opportunity. That's how I looked. I used to tweet about it all day. Look at us opening the door for another day of opportunity. That's the fun side. That's the sexy side. That's the glamorous side. And the work that we do is dirty, it's unsexy, and it's not exciting. It's kind of like one of the most important things that we can keep an eye on in a school is a PLC, a learning community, right? A planning community, a community that plans and prepares, because it has the most impact on what happens in a building that day. Planning, preparation, execution of an outstanding instructional program is one of the most important things that we can do each and every day. And it's one of those things that as leaders and as administrators is often avoided. So I'm going to tell you, don't avoid the messy, dirty, boring work. The devil's in the details. The attention, we fall back on our training. We fall back on our training and our preparation and our planning and our execution of that. So that's one of the big things that I learned very quickly was I was going to go as far as I went with the devil in the details, with the little things, the unsexy things. Man, I jump on the phone every day and tell the kids every day. If somebody didn't tell you today they love you, Mr. Brewer's telling you to love it. I love it, right? It's one of the most important things I do. The next one is jumping into all that little stuff, all those little details, right?
Good stuff. Good stuff. Let me, I guess I'm gonna switch gears slightly. You know, Hamish, one of the big conversations, as you know, in education amongst the educators is staff and students not necessarily being reflective of one another. So in other words, you got a student body, and you've got diversity racially, ethnically, culturally, and then you got staff who may not reflect that diversity, right? So, and we know just based on numbers, 84% of the total teaching force in America is white, predominantly women. So, but then yet you've got a huge percentage of children of color in schools across the country, and more in certain sections than others, obviously. So my question to you is, how do you and your staff go about sustaining culturally responsive relations with students, knowing that there are those differences relative to student body versus staff?
Yeah, you know what? Let me first of all start by saying I worked really hard over the years to hire a really diverse staff, and when I say diverse, not just African American, all cultures, right? Yeah. Like I have predominantly Hispanic speaking students. I wanted to make sure that they had Hispanic speaking teachers and things like that. So we worked hard at that. But also, I think that we have a pipeline issue. We have a pipeline issue with teachers. We have an identity crisis with teaching at the moment that we have to address, that has to be addressed at the national and local levels, attracting more people to the job, making the job understand how attractive it can be, the opportunities that are there. We got to do work on the ground with our graduates. We got to do work on the ground in our communities, but we have a responsibility. I think we have a responsibility to listen. I think we have a responsibility to amplify and advocate for our kids, and celebrate everything that makes them so rich in our diversity in our schools. And that's what we did every day. We celebrated it every single day, our diversity, and we gave them voice. We gave them voice, man. We amplified their voice. If they had concerns about something, they were fighting for something. For instance, when Black Lives Matter movement was happening, we amplified their voice. But we were doing that before that, because you should have been, because we should be. It's not up for debate, and it shouldn't go away today. It should be an everyday conversation each and every day, and fighting for all our kids like that, right? And so we worked really hard on that, and providing providing different people to come in and help expose, help prepare, help provide knowledge and understanding, and bring everybody to have a seat at the table. Everybody has a seat at the table. Nobody doesn't not have a seat at the table. And so we spent years and years working on that. Just before COVID, 3 years ago, for instance, one of the best experiences I ever did was I took our entire staff, instead of having like a staff meeting in the lounge with the freaking folders and all that sort of stuff. The best thing we did is we went to the National African American Museum in Washington, D.C. We spent the whole day there talking, learning, having conversation, and growing together so that we could understand, we could seek understanding, we could seek enlightenment and learning and open our hearts and open our minds. We talked about this off stage. One of the things that had the most profound effects on me was my visit to the Negro League Baseball Museum. I cried every day, and I'm a big baseball fan, right? And I cried because the crowds were bigger on the days they played, on the off days when the Negro Leagues held the major league stadiums. I didn't know they played in the same stadiums at that time, right? Yeah. And they filled it out, but they couldn't use the amenities. And I'll tell you something that had a profound effect on me. I grew up in New Zealand. It's a really diverse country. We spent a lot of time celebrating our cultures. We're a microorganism melting pot of the South Pacific, Samoa, Tonga, Fiji, New Zealand, Cook Island, all that. And when I first came to America, I'm putting it out there. I'm bleeding my heart out there, man. When I first came to America, back in the day, I had some hair, right? I don't have much hair today. And I used to always get a fade. All the boys from school used to do it back in the sheds, fades and what have you. And it was really eye-opening for me when I went into a barber store, and everybody stopped and they said, "Hey, can we help you?" I'm like, "Yeah, bro, I need a fade. Do you guys do fades?" And then they heard my voice, they heard my tongue, they heard my heart, and they're like, "This guy ain't from around here." I learned that day that there was a difference between there was like black barbers, right? And I understood about here, and I came in, and and that barber, when I broke my back in a fire truck accident, he came up to the hospital and cut my hair for me because we created a relationship, right? And we had a love, right? But the other thing was, I was just thinking about this, it's meeting kids where they're at, right? And we chase after the dumbest stuff in schools. We fight the dumbest fights. We pick the wrong fights. I allowed hats in school. But I also understood the policy. The policy said nothing covering the ears. And so that's okay. But people would fight that stuff, and what have you. And understanding all my kids would often wear do-rags, and people would get all upset about do-rags because they didn't understand. And I said, you know what? Understand this by they're taking care of their waves. And so we educate, we educated the staff up. We provided understanding. So instead of it being a fight or a tussle, it became understanding, it became enlightenment, it became learning, and it became growth together. And so doing it for years, man, since day one, for me, everything starts with respecting each and every individual as a person and their individual identity. I have a quote that I said, we have a responsibility in schools to advocate for and protect the individuality and identity of every single kid in that school, because it's their greatest gift.
Man, you said a lot there, and I guess I'm really stuck on the whole barbershop thing. I grew up in black barbershops, so I don't have the hair anymore. I haven't been in a barbershop literally since 1993. That's when I started shaving. But I remember those experiences. So I know, had I seen you walk in, if I can keep it real, I'm like,
yeah,
what are you doing here? Right?
Yeah.
But see, you didn't let that stop you. And that's the whole beauty of who you are within your capacity as educator and as leader, right? So I love that. I do. You know, and folks, just to give you a sense of time, I got about 2 more questions, right? But I got to do the rapid fire, so you guys stay in here with me. I'm seeing all the comments, and apparently it's resonating with a lot of folks. So stick around. You know, in your book Relentless, which I'll put the copy up here, the cover up here again, folks. Amazon.com. Go right to your other device and get it now. Amazon, and right in Relentless, there's a chapter called "The Great Ones Go One More Round." Right, the great ones go one more round, and I highlighted a quick couple of paragraphs, short ones though. I want to read these live. You said the truth of the matter is the inspiring work that we do is hard work. It takes dedication to master your craft. Ensuring that every day is an opportunity for great instruction requires intention. It's not easy, and it doesn't come without sacrifice. The sooner we acknowledge and embrace this truth, the sooner we can liberate ourselves from the toxic internal and external factors we struggle against as we fight to make a difference each and every day. In our roles as leaders and as educators, there will be plenty of circumstances that are going to knock us down. When we hit those hard days, those hard weeks or years, we have a choice. We can throw in the towel, or we can get up and choose to go one more round, which goes back to the title, One More Round. So my question to the audience, what exactly are you telling us, the audience, when you say the great ones go one more round?
You know, the great ones, you know, they get knocked down, right? And we're all the great ones. We all have an opportunity to be one of the great ones. We all have an opportunity to respond. It's how we respond. It's how we respond when we get knocked down, when it gets tough, right? Do we run the other way? Do we ignore the conversation? Do we ignore the fight? Or do we get back up when we failed, when we made a mistake, right? We have to rethink and reframe failure. We have to rethink and reframe failure, especially in schools. Like, we celebrate all these entrepreneurs and athletes and businessmen that fail in school, right? But in school, we don't celebrate anybody that fails. Man, school should be a place where we're able to overcome challenge and failures. But it's about the great ones. I just want to be one of the greats. You know, when everybody else is sleeping, you know, when everybody else is having that long breakfast, laying in bed, man, I want to be at school. I want to be up. I want to be up ready and going. I want to be up before you. I want to be up working before you. I want to be fighting for you each and every day. I want to be the first in the car park every day.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to be one of the greats. I wanted to set the expectation. I wanted to be the model. I wanted to show that I'm not going to ask you to do something I'm not willing to do, and I'm not going to get outworked. I'm not going to let you outwork me. Yeah. I'm going to work because I wanted to be one of the greats. And when you look at over time, the people that are really, truly, truly attached to their mission, their vision, their passion, they're chasing greatness. They're going one more round. They're fighting for that every day. If you really believe in what you're fighting for every day, you're fighting to be one of the greats. That's what it's about. It's that legacy. It's that, man, there's nothing guaranteed. There's no guarantees. Tomorrow's not guaranteed. Stop living in the past. The past don't dictate it now. It's right now, right here in that moment. It's right here, right now. And I love what Denzel Washington said. Denzel Washington said, you ain't never seen a U-Haul on the back of a hearse. Mm-hmm. You know, you can't take it with you. But your legacy, you leave, your work, you one more round fighting for these guys. You do them a disservice by not getting back up off that canvas each and every day and fighting for them each and every day and going another round. You know, it's how I wanted to be wired. It's what I wanted to do, you know, like, oh God, now you're getting me preaching, brother.
That's all right. Preach.
Yeah.
You know, it's you know, I think about, and this is on the individual side now. There's a lot of folks that reach out to me, I'm sure they do you, and they're looking for mentorship as a leader, mentorship in terms of interviewing, mentorship in terms of speaking. New speaker, want to break in, seasoned speaker, or been doing it for a little while. I want to elevate my game. And as I say to folks all the time, and I will boldly say it here. I say, I will pour into you.
Yep.
I will give you everything I got. However, you'll never reach me. And here's what I mean by that. Because I'm a moving target. Right. So as I'm 61, but I'm acting like I'm 25. Right. So even though I'm gonna give you what you asked for, I'm gonna do it for free. I'm gonna pour into you, but you ain't gonna catch up to me. Right. Because as you rise, I'm rising too. Right. So I'm saying that to say I'm going that extra round literally every day, man. Every day. Like here's one example. I'm going to give you this real quick for the benefit of the folks. And some of you already know this. This broadcast, I start getting ready for this thing on Saturday. So like for next Saturday, I'm already starting to prep, man, because I want this thing to flow right on every Saturday morning. So I'm ready for my interview with Hamish Brewer today because I've been prepping since last Saturday. This ain't like wake up on Saturday and throw something together and now just go with it. This is 7 days worth of preparation. I'm going the next round, man. And that's got to be the mindset that you bring to your work, right? That preparation, that going the next round. And when you get knocked down, then it's not a knockout. It's just a knockdown. So get your butt up. And let's continue this fight, man. I feel I'm preaching too, man. We both doing the sermon, right? So, in that same chapter, I love that chapter. You asked the reader to ask themselves the following 8 questions. I'm going to do this real quick because I love the questions. Look here, y'all. The questions are in the book for those of you to get it, hopefully all of you. But those of you that don't, or at least don't right now, you can always rewind this because these questions are powerful. Number 1, and I'm gonna go through these quickly. What does one more round mean to you? How far are you willing to go for those around you, those you lead, and most importantly, for children? How far are you willing to go as a colleague, friend, or spouse? Do you put those around you first? Or do you cast a shadow that detracts from the team and children? What do you do? That drew a response from Hamish. So I want you to hear that one again because apparently that's his question. Do you put those around you first, or do you cast a shadow that detracts from the team and children? What do you do to put the team and those around you first? How do you show kindness? How do you uplift those around you? And finally, what do you do to leave your school and those around you better than you found it and them? Man, that was some stuff there. Hamish, as I read that, the 2 words that stood out for me, servant leadership, because not one of those questions was about you. Not one of those questions was about the individual, about the leader. Every one of those questions was about the people that you lead. Servant leadership is what I heard. So my question then is, why is servant leadership so important, such an important component to school leadership? And how do we avoid the trap of believing that it's all about us?
Because you know what? It's the greatest privilege we have, man, to walk right alongside our communities, man. There's times that we have to walk in front, but we walk right alongside, and nobody should cast a shadow over anybody else, man. We don't stand in other people's if your shadow is greater than the team's, you don't need to be on my team. Yeah. You don't need to be in my crew. If it's about you and not about us, it's a we thing. It's not an I thing. We roll together. We succeed together. We fail together. We get back up together. No school organization, anything can accomplish anything when it becomes an I thing. It's a we thing. And I'm going to tell you right now, as leaders, as APs, as aspiring principals, superintendents, I see you all in here. Our job as leaders is to be servant leaders, to put others before us.
Yeah.
To make sure that they're the center of the work that we do each and every day, to leave our egos at the door. If you can't leave your ego at the door and you make it about you, you ain't a leader. There ain't no leadership in making it about you. I became a great leader when I left my ego at the door and I made it about everybody. That I seeked ownership, participation, and voice from everybody. And you don't have to have all the answers because the answers are in the room. You have so many amazing professionals in your building each and every day that have answers. Seek their answers, seek their voice, and amazing, great things will happen. There are going to be times where you got to, as a leader, you got to make the statement. We are the Calvary. Help ain't coming. We are the Calvary, and you're going to lead that charge from the front. I'm going to tell you one of my most defining moments, and I really understood leadership after this, is during the Black Lives Matter movement. I walked with my community when many, many others didn't. And I didn't walk in front. I didn't walk behind. I walked alongside and to support and to be there and to provide that voice and that acknowledgement, right? That's leadership.
Yeah.
Leadership. We find out, do you know what you fight for? Do you know what you fight for every day? Because if you don't know what you fight for, you don't know what you're willing to fail for. You got to know what you're willing to stand for, what you're willing to fight for, because then you'll understand what you're willing to fail for. And when you know that, you'll accomplish greatness. You know how far you're willing to go, right? That's our legacy. That's our one more round. That's leadership. Leadership is about walking with our people, lifting them up. Man, I believe in, you see all these people with these triangles and all this BS, right? Man, you got to tip the triangle upside down, man. We're there to hold that triangle up and to hold everybody up above us and to carry them and to walk with them and to shine the light on them each and every day. That's leadership.
That's leadership. But, going back to what you said about Black Lives Matter, you said it twice, too, in a previous question. What a beautiful thing to have a principal, black, white, or other, who is willing to take a position. Right. And in this case, your position regarding Black Lives Matter, and to walk in it, to stand behind it. Everybody doesn't have that. And as folks have heard me preach on here and other sessions, you got to stand for something. And because if you go along to get along and just sustain a status quo to keep a job, then the question becomes, why do the students need you? What good are you? Right. But if you going along to get along, it's comparable to when we say, I just want to get back to how things were before the pandemic. Really?
Really?
That's where we want to be. Right. So, but if we got people who are in this fight and were fighting before the pandemic, and now the pandemic just exposed to quite a few things that we didn't recognize in so many cases, particularly around technology, then we got to be able to demonstrate that I'm about something. That's that authenticity you were talking about. That I'm about something. This is who I am. I always say I'm not going to be reckless on this platform and say to folks, go out there and get yourself terminated. Of course, you got to be strategic in how you maneuver.
100%.
But at the end of the day, you got to be about something. And that's why I say all the time, and I'm going to scream the word out because I do it when I'm doing keynotes. It must be personal.
Yes, sir.
Thing was personal for me, man. It wasn't professional. It was personal. It was just within a professional capacity, but it was personal. Make no mistake about it. I got one more for you, and then we go to the rapid fire. In that same chapter, I love that chapter, man. You have a list of 9 habits of great educators, and I'm gonna read them to you. Humility, attitude, persistence, accountability, sacrifice / together, focus, no fear of failure. Let me say that one again. No fear of failure, no excuses, and character. And I said that one, no fear of failure, twice because that was the one that really stood out for me. I feel personally, I can't afford to fear failure, particularly for things I want to accomplish. Right. So, but that's me. So what I do, and I'm talking to you all before I turn this over to Hamish, I embrace failure. So whatever I failed at, let me own it so that I could learn from it. So you all know I'm big on this word protecting, such as protecting your authenticity, protecting your peace, your happiness, etc. I'm going to protect my failures, right? And make no mistake about it, I'm going to have failures, setbacks, and so forth. But I'm going to protect them because they become my university. They become my education. They become the book I'm reading, the journal I'm reading, the video I'm watching. I protect it because the lessons are embedded within. So with that said, to you, Hamish, how does one go about avoiding the fear of failure, given the inevitability of failure and the pressure to perform?
Yeah. Yeah, loaded, so many layers right there. Try and remember them all at once. But, we're going to fail more than we succeed. We're going to fail many, many, many more times over than we'll succeed. And often when we do succeed, it's a big shabam, right? It's this big boom, we succeeded. But it's that journey, it's that process, it's everything we did along the way to get to where we got to. But, failing is part of that journey. It's what we learn from it. It's what we take from it. Just like you said, it's our textbook. It's our university, right? But if we fail and we don't learn from it, then we really truly did fail. And so what I say about that is, MJ said it. Michael Jordan said it. He hit that one that he didn't get on his high school, and he hit that one 3-pointer for North Carolina, right? But he missed many, many, many more before it.
Yeah.
It's the shots you don't take, right? That's what it's about. And I think in schools, especially, I want to bring it back to schools, that if we're not willing to take those shots, then we're failing our kids. If we're not willing to step out there and take risks, because when we're taking those opportunities, we're providing opportunities for our kids, and we're teaching on fire. We're providing the best instruction, the best experiences, because by trying, we're trying to move forward. We're trying to take that one step forward. We're trying to grow. And as we try, as we grow, we fail, we learn, and we go again, right? That's what that's about. And not living in that fear. And unfortunately, we've created a system. We got a systemic problem in schools from the top down around failure, because we're so tied to these scores. But what I've always focused on, it's not the exams. My kids are not an exam.
Yeah.
My kids, I want to be measured by, did they become great mothers, great fathers, great citizens? That's the exam. Life is the exam. Life is the ultimate evaluation for me and for my kids. And that's what I want to be measured on. I want to fail knowing that I poured everything into them so that they could have something. They could have that opportunity and access. And that opportunity, that pathway, that's what it's about, right? Providing that. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'd rather fail with my Calvary and what I did each and every day in my building, because what I did each and every day in my building with our crew, with our squad, with our tribe, is going to outcompete any end of year exam, any day of the week. But give me as a leader, failing shows that it's okay for my teachers to take risks. It's okay for my stakeholders to take risks, to try and grow together, right? Yeah. Failing's okay. It's not finite, but we make it finite in schools, right? Because everything's tied to a number, a letter, or something like that, man. And my kids are not a zip code. They're not a letter. They're not a number. They're more than that.
That's right. I love it. I love it. Hey, Hamish, I got one more for you, and then we go to the rapid fire. I would be remiss if I didn't ask this one. This one I kind of added after I had printed out my notes. I said, what is we're at the end of the school year for many, and others will be ending in June, various parts of June. What's your end of the year message or thought to somebody out there? And I always say the last day of school is the first day of next year, right? What's your end of the year message to somebody out there?
Man, the end of the year message to you all is this, man. I want to start with a thank you. Thank you for what you've continued to do each and every day. Thank you for turning up. Thank you for what you've accomplished, what you continue to accomplish. I don't live in a world of this is the end of the year. I'm kind of like, it's an ongoing thing, man. Culture don't take breaks. Right. It don't take breaks, man. I don't take breaks. It's a continuation. It's a passing of the torch. It's a passing of the baton, and we continue. It's a continuation. It never stops, right? It's a cycle of life for me. It's a cycle of what we do. But to all of you, what you've done this year, what you've done these last few years, again, thank you for what you continue to do, what you continue to accomplish. That, you know, what you've done for your communities will never fully be understood. It'll never fully be understood. It'll never be fully appreciated. Many people, your friends, your loved ones, your close ones, will never, ever fully appreciate or understand what you've done each and every day, right? But I want to say from guys like us, we've walked that walk, we've lived that trench. I just say thank you. Thank you. Don't stop learning. Don't stop failing forward. Don't stop continuing to turn up each and every day, because, you know, there's somebody sitting at home. There's someone that's sitting at home, man, that's relying on you. And can I tell you, finish with a couple of these things. You're part of two of the most important conversations that take place every day. I want to keep it real. You're part of two of the most important conversations that take place every single day. The first one is this: have a great day at school today. I hope you have a great day at school today. And then you're part of the last one. How was your day? How was your day? The fact that we get to have the opportunity to be part of two of the most important conversations that happen in a home every single day. We have the most ultimate opportunity, responsibility, and privilege and honor each and every day to serve our communities and our kids. And I want to thank you for serving our kids, for standing on top of the hill, for being the beacon, for being the lighthouse, for being the light for our kids and communities each and every day, through the darkness, through the tough times, through the shadows. We're still there. We're still standing. We're still beaming. We're still saying we got one more round. We ain't done. And when you think you're done, turn to the people in this network. Turn to the people in this network. Have somebody from this network be there. They're going to be there for you. Find a name on this network in this chat today, because we're all here for a common cause. We turned up for a common cause, man, to fight for our kids each and every day. So thank you for what you do, fighting and advocating for kids each and every day. Be blessed.
Woo! Powerful stuff. Let's go to them rapid, those BAM impact questions, rapid fire. One word answer or one sentence. We go quick. Bam, bam, bam. Here we go. 20 questions. Is education on the right path for underserved children?
No.
Can true equity occur in America's schools for Black, brown, and other underserved students?
I want to believe in it, and I want to believe yes, but we got work to do.
Does Hamish Brewer's work contribute to the progress we desperately need?
100%.
If you could do a reset on your life, would your line of work be different or the same?
Wouldn't give it up for anything right now.
Why do you continue to do this work?
Somebody's child, man.
What fires you up within the work that you do?
Somebody's child. That's somebody's child. That's somebody's most prized possession.
What do you dislike about the work you do?
The negativity, the naysayers, people say it can't be done. The people that don't believe, the people that are in it for the wrong reasons, man, that one, now you make me angry. Like, too many people in it for the wrong reasons.
What has been your greatest victory in this work?
Made a kid smile.
What was your greatest mistake in this work?
My greatest mistake became my greatest experience, learning to listen.
What has been your greatest challenge in this work?
People see the greatest challenge is people seeing that it's okay for individuality.
Are you proud of your first year as an assistant principal?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Are you proud of your first year as a principal?
Yeah.
Who inspires you in this work?
Man, every single person that turns up every day to be the difference and authentically for a kid, man, each and every day. Can I jump in and say a few more words here?
Yeah,
man,
yeah.
I want to do something silly and something funny, man. You guys are going to laugh at me. I wrote about it in my book, man. But there was a period, man, I wanted to be the next Whoopi Goldberg, Sister Act. I was like, she could do it. I can too. You know,
wow.
I love that stuff. That lean on me, man. I absolutely love it.
I hear you. I hear you. What are you reading right now?
I'm reading a book about it's about life in terms of what you control and what you can't control. Man, I spend a lot of time trying to control things I can't and learning that it's wasted energy.
Yeah. What book would you recommend for our viewers this afternoon now?
Oh man, one of my favorites is Legacy by James Kerr. It's a just phenomenal book. New Zealander, talks about our culture, our Maori heritage, and leadership through that lens, and through one of the greatest sports teams in the world, the All Blacks rugby team. It's phenomenal.
Good stuff. What do you want to accomplish that you haven't accomplished yet?
I'm looking forward to continue to advocate and amplify for more voices, but every chance I get to help one more child is one more accomplishment. That's all I want to do, man. Continuing to impact enough people that we can continue to help more kids each and every day.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Are you satisfied with where you are professionally?
No, it's a moving target.
Yeah. What could you say to a viewer out there who continues to face closed doors?
Keep fighting. Keep fighting, because they're closing them on you on purpose. They want to close them because they want to think they can shut you down, close you down. No, don't give them that satisfaction.
What could you say to a viewer out there who's lost their fire?
Find your tribe. The fire's still there. You're just surrounded by the wrong people.
And lastly, if Hamish Brewer was a word in a dictionary, what would be your definition?
Let's go with relentless, right? We might as well go with relentless right there, baby.
That's it. Relentless, relentless. I love it, man. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Hey, folks, if he dropped the fire, if he brought you some good information, you know what we do on here. New people you wouldn't know, we put the emojis up. Give me some fire emojis, some hearts, some whatever your favorite emoji is. Drop them emojis to let Hamish know that's your applause. Let him know that you appreciate. I see some diamonds on there. Appreciate what he delivered this morning and this afternoon. Oh, here it comes. Yeah, appreciate that. And as I always do, man, I got the bat nearby, the Louisville Slugger. You hit it out the park, man. You hit that grand slam. Man, I appreciate you, man. Such great, such powerful, such potent information. Tell the folks how they can pick up the book, how they can reach you, and as a presenter, how they can book you.
For sure. First of all, I just want to thank you. You're one of my mentors, one of the people I try to chase down, man. You're one of my targets, man. So I really appreciate you and thank you for your inspiration and what you do every day, man. Continue it. Don't stop. You can find me anywhere. Basically, you type my name in, Hamish Brewer, and everything will pop up. But you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at Hamish Brewer. My website's at hamishbrewer.com. And you can head up Relentless online at Amazon, and you can get everything you need right there at hamishbrewer.com or on any of the social media sites. You can find me, man. But to be honest, I don't do it for none of that, man. I don't do it for none of that. I do it for the fellowship and for the community and for that kid, man, that one kid, right? That's what we do.
That's it. So once again, folks, you want to bring him to your school, your district, your conference, hit him up. He's a keynoter. He's a workshop presenter. He does it all. So hit him up so you can get him there. Hey, Hamish, I'm going to close out. Stay there for me. Don't leave me. Folks, next Saturday is first Saturday in June. I'm going solo Saturdays every first Saturday. My topic, protecting your leadership authenticity, part 2 out of 3. And my emphasis will be on your durability, your influence, and your people skills. Tell somebody and join me next Saturday, 10:55 for solo Saturday. It's just me. But don't forget, every Saturday on Facebook Live, beginning at 10 o'clock, Sean Hurt. 10:30, Create and Educate with Dr. Sheikah Houston and soon to be Dr. Tammy Taylor. That's 10:30. Sunday night, Unlock the Middle. My man Josh Tovar, Dean Packard, they're going to have my man Ken Williams on there. next week. In fact, Ken Williams is going to make a cameo with me next week because he's got the new book out, Ruthless Equity. So I'm going to bring him on for a cameo because he already got 90 minutes. So we're going to bring him on for the cameo, and he'll be on with me at the top of the hour to talk about his new book, Ruthless Equity. But you can listen to him tomorrow night with Josh at 7 o'clock on Unlock the Middle. And then Village Leadership Group with Dr. Roz Gaskins and Coach Williams is every Tuesday and Thursday at 6 o'clock. Don't forget my most recent 3, the Equity and Social Justice Education 50. You can go to Amazon right now and get it along with Relentless. And then if you don't have the Assistant Principal 50, go ahead and cop that too. And then while you're there, get the Aspiring Principal 50. So I got a stack of others on the shelf here, but I'm only showing you those 3 if you don't have them yet. But again, this is the newest one. That's the brand new. It's hot too, y'all. The Equity and Social Justice Education 50. I can't even hold it in one hand, man. This thing is blazing. Get yourself a copy. Visit principalkafele.com for all the additional resources. Subscribe to Virtual AP Leadership Academy YouTube channel so you don't miss anything. We got 109 videos on the books now. So subscribe and then like and follow the Virtual AP Leadership Academy Facebook page, which some of you are watching us live on right now. I write the commentary. That's a little mini blog every Sunday morning. Every Sunday I write that, unless I'm on an airplane early or something. Every Sunday morning. So make sure that you like and follow that page so you don't miss that commentary. We're up to like number 69 or 70. I've been doing these things every week now. I didn't start it back when I started this, though. And then lastly, your diet, man. Take care of yourself. Your exercise, your cardio work. Take care of yourself. And don't throw your mask away just yet. There's still a virus out here. So wear your mask. Do I wear my mask everywhere? No. When I'm on the airplane, yes, right? When I'm in close proximity to others, yes, right? But I'm not going to walk out the house with a mask. I'm not there no more, right? But take care of yourselves, folks, because I don't want to read about you because you took a bad risk, right? So other than that, have a great week. Have an extraordinary week. Have your best week yet. Peace. Peace. Thumbs up. Cock that fist back. Count to 3. 1, 2, 3. Bam! Appreciate everybody. Stay safe out here, and we'll see you next Saturday at 10:55 Eastern Time.